I'm a prisoner in my own home. We're afraid to answer the phone. I can't sleep at night. I had nowhere else to turn. I was going to leave the country. My wife was going to leave me. I sat at home with a gun. I didn't know how I was going to get through the night. Then I saw my children and I couldn't do it. This is what's said to me every single day by people. Sooner or later, if you're a human and you're raising a family and you're living in this country, sooner or later, something's going to happen that's going to interrupt your economic status. There's going to be a death, a divorce, a separation, a downsizing, a relocation, a medical emergency, the furnace breaks, the car breaks down, the roof leaks, whatever. These things happen in life. You need that little extra cash. And you say, well, look what I got in the mail today. I'll just use $1,000 of it. Well, that's when the problem starts. And you'll never, ever get out of the debt. Never. I opened my office in February 17th, 1997, with an ad in the paper. And I had the word debt upside down. Big letters, black letters, debt upside down. You know, is your world upside down because of overwhelming debt that you can no longer manage? And I got 20 phone calls. The second phone call was a woman named Cleva May. She had borrowed $10,000 from Fleet Bank, and she lost the tenant, and she could no longer make the payment. They threatened to file a judgment against her, which they can't legally do. They threatened to put a lien on her home, which they can't do. I said, these are severe violations of your rights. I sued Fleet Bank, I sued the collection agency, and I sued the collector. We zeroed out the debt, and I got her $4,000 by enforcing rights that she didn't know she had. Nobody advertises them, nobody publishes them, and nobody raises their hand and say, we do this for you, except our law firm is now doing that on a regular basis. How do you stop this groundswell of consumer crusading? Get rid of the lawyer. You get rid of the lawyer. Because it was always a slam dunk. The collector would sue the consumer who couldn't afford an attorney. It would not even appear in court. It would be a default judgment. Many judges have sanctioned me, fined me. How dare you raise that defense in my courtroom? Fine you. You know how much I've been fined so far in the last year? What do you think? By judges, various judges. Come on.
$1 million.
No, $1.5 million.
Is the court playing the role of the angry parent?
Yes. You have gotten this credit card. You didn't deny you got it. You used it. You didn't deny you used it. And you took money, and now you're not paying it back? You owe it. You lose. This one judge fined me $850,000 in one day. The law requires a full hearing if you're going to fine a lawyer. Asked me if there was a hearing scheduled. Come on. The answer is no. No hearing. This is the new American way. In 1999 alone, we saved our clients $26 million.
How many people do you represent?
Around about, I don't know, 12 to 15,000.
How many?
12 to 15,000, growing every day. Credit card companies have a scheme to keep people in debt and to keep them in debt to their company. A scheme where you're paying them money and you keep paying them money. You're borrowing money from them to pay them. They want you in debt. Credit card companies want you in debt. Why? They want the minimum payment. They don't want you to pay the bill off. If you pay the bill off, they cancel your card. How come they never ask you for more than the minimum payment? They want you to be an indentured servant for the rest of your life with them. That's what they want. How long do you think it would take to pay off $7,000 at 21.9% interest if you were making the minimum payment? 143 years. It takes 143 years. And you end up paying approximately $76,000. The profit comes from the interest and all the little other fees and charges that they tack on. They have a whole litany of tricks. Clients come into my office and say, I can't do this anymore. I'm paying $1,200 a month in minimum payments. I have 9 credit cards. I owe $40,000. It just keeps going on and on. I don't know what to do. I've mortgaged my house twice. I've taken my IRA account. I don't have it anymore. I borrowed all I could. The education money for our children is gone, and I still owe the money. I tried consumer credit counseling services. I said, I know. I said, it doesn't work. It's part of the same network. It's part of the same group. You're never going to pay it off with consumer credit counseling. And you don't. You know the consolidation loan you went to get? You didn't get it. You say, I have great credit, A+ on my credit report. Why can't I get the loan? You told me if I paid my bills on time all the time, I have great credit. And I do. Here's my credit report. That's the lie. I don't care what your credit report says. It's irrelevant. I'm not going to give you more money. I'm not going to give you more debt because you probably can't pay it. Now, you went to Citibank or Chase Manhattan Bank or Fleet Bank for that loan. They said, no way, you got too much debt. Guess what's in your mailbox when you get home? The same bank who will not give you the loan because they know your debt-to-income ratio is too high will give you a pre-approved credit card. That's why dogs get credit cards. That's why children get credit cards. 5, 6, 7, 8 credit cards from the same bank. We have this huge bowl of credit cards that clients used to bring in while they were with us. They just get them by the dozens. They know how much debt you're carrying. They know it. But they'll give you the platinum card, the gold platinum card, the millennium card, and the gold card. And when you get the 4th card, you say, I can't afford this. And guess what? Well, you know why you use it? You can't make the minimum payments on the other 3 cards 1 month. So what do? You take a cash advance on the millennium card to make the payments on the other 3 cards. So now, oh, good, these payments are due. I'll get a cash advance on card 4 to pay the minimum payments on cards 1, 2, 3. There's no reason for this. No reason. You load people up with debt that you know they cannot repay. And you target those most vulnerable. You target those least able to pay. And of course, you know they're least able to defend any violation you commit. And they have no conscience whatsoever about this. None whatsoever.
They have no guilt.
Oh, no guilt. They have no guilt. Of course they have no guilt. You can't make them feel guilty. But if you sue them, you can make them understand.
Pre-approval, it's like, I love you without ever having to meet you.
Yeah, right. You're a great person. You know, the words, I've been pre-approved. For what? Somebody likes me. They're going to give me money. I got to be a good person. The psychology is very clear. Listen, you're a good person. You're pre-approved. I checked everything out on you. I'm sending you this card with this money. You're pre-approved. Feel good about this, don't you? Right? Now they call you up and say, we gave you this money in good faith. What kind of person are you? Why aren't you making your payment? We don't care if your wife died. We don't care if you lost your job. You need $29. Send it to Western Union. You owe this money. You used it, didn't you? What kind of person are you? Guilt. Clients come in to me and they say, this is my debt, I owe it, but I can't make the payment. I feel terrible. I feel so guilty over this. You know what I say to them? Stop that. Don't feel guilty at all. What you are embarking upon now is the business of getting out of debt. I said, think of your family as a company and their shareholders. Just put that in your mind, and you're going to save your company. I want you committed to that thought. When Macy's has financial problems, do they internalize the guilt? And the president of Macy's says, I feel so embarrassed about this. I feel so guilty. What am I going to do? You don't feel guilty about it either. You're Mr. and Mrs. Smith Incorporated getting out of debt. No guilt. Don't internalize it. Don't personalize it. It's business. And you tell your creditor, nothing personal, it's business.
I'm sure you'll understand, because you are a business.
Okay?
I used to have a guy who called me every morning, Mr. Montori, from a credit agency.
Yeah?
And he would leave these messages because I would never, of course,
Return the
pick
call,
up the
right?
phone.
Right.
He would leave these messages, Mr. Morris, have you no sense of shame? Or, for example, Mr. Morris, did your parents really bring you up to
this
act
way?
this way? Is that what they did?
It's called GUILT, right? Shh.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
At 6 o'clock in supper time, you say this phrase, call my lawyer. That's all you say.
Would you say that you are in not just the debt reduction business, but the guilt reduction business?
Yeah, right. It's my background as a psychologist. In divorce, there's two aspects. The legal divorce, piece of cake. But the psychology of divorcing yourself, the hanging on, lingers. That's why some divorces take as long as 5, 6, 7 years. Until they're ready to let go, you can never divorce them. Psychologically, they're married to it because the guilt associated with that debt is so ingrained and so internalized with them that they cannot come to grips with letting it go. What will this do to my credit report? Will I be able to buy a house 10 years from now? Hello? You think I'll be able to get a car when my car breaks down? You have to say, I can't do it anymore. I'm getting out of it. Tell me what I have to do. Our techniques of getting people out of debt is precisely the methods that Donald Trump used. You know the $100,000 I owe you? I'm going to be able to pay you $10,000. When the dollars are very big and the stakes are very high, they don't treat you like the $2,900 consumer. They call you in, we work out a deal. Listen, Donald, we got to work something out here. And they do. Their risk is great. They stand to lose $1 billion. You who owes $2,900 to a credit card company that has 10 million clients, there's no effect on them. Unless you, the consumer, can hold up your rights and say, wait a minute, I'm going to put your feet to the fire here. You violated this, this, and this, and you owe me money.
The bank owes you money?
Absolutely. If a bank violates your rights under the Truth in Lending Law, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, under all these laws, you have a right to now go to them and say, listen, when you gave me this card, you didn't follow the law, Mr. Creditor. You didn't follow the law. I'm entitled to 2 times the finance charges that you've levied against me on this card. How many consumers use the law? The average consumer is not a lawyer. They're amateurs. They're up against professional lawyers. You don't have a chance. The consumer has no chance. MBNA just pulled this one. They sent a letter to every one of their cardholders. You no longer have a right to go to court I mean, I just sit there and go wild over this. You no longer have a right to go to court. You don't have a right to have a jury trial. We're going to arbitrate everything in front of an arbitrator of our choice. And if you lose, you have to pay the arbitrator fees, which we'll charge to your card. Did anybody ever read the Constitution? For Christ's sakes, this is America. That was the way it was played until a lawyer stood up and said, I can represent these people. And somebody's going to say, well, how can they afford to pay you? I said, I figured out a way. I'm going to take the money that you're sending to the credit card companies every month for interest, late fees, over the limit fees, annual fees, renewal fees, and you're going to hire this law firm, and we're going to say to this credit card company, and I'm not going to pay you. Go ahead and sue me. My lawyer's going to defend me for free. I owe you $10,000? I can afford to give you $2,000. You want it? No. Okay, thank you, goodbye. When you're ready to take the $2,000 that I can afford, I'll send it to you. If you want to sue me, go ahead.
You wipe out the debt, kablam. You find infractions committed by the credit card companies.
Correct.
And from those fines,
right,
you take a fee.
No.
How do you make a living?
I get 28% of what I save you when I save it. You pay a portion of the estimated fee each month, maybe $50 and maybe $100 over 14 months, 20 months, 22 months. It's what you can afford, how you can afford it. The whole concept here is not to earn fees, but to get you out of debt. All I did was sleep and work. I was working 16, 18 hours a day, weaving this client after client. How do I work it? How do I develop it? The first thing I did was say to the client, okay, you got $20,000, we can reduce it to 10, we're saving you 10, our fee's going to be 20%. And then when I reduced the debt, I called the client up, they didn't have the money. I said, this isn't working. So we went to banks and we tried to get a loan program going. The bank's like, are you people crazy? I said, people can't pay their bills, you want us to give loans to them. I said, you gotta buy the concept. We get them out of the debt, then they don't have this debt anymore. They can easily afford the loan.
Isn't that asking the banks to turn on each other?
Yes, but you know, money makes strange bedfellows.
Doesn't that conjure up the image of a tank of piranhas?
Yeah. The credit card company sent out 3.1 billion, with a B, solicitations last year. 3.1 billion with a B. And 60 billion with a B dollars were paid in interest, late charges, over the credit limit fees to banks. Not one dime of that went to principal. Is it profitable? Most profitable business in the country is consumer debt.
Is this a David and Goliath story?
Yes. Well, listen, there's me, and there's the Attorney General, Committee on Professional Standards, collection lawyers, bankruptcy lawyers, Consumer Credit Counseling Services, Citibank, this is a small little bank, right? MBNA, Discover, Sears, absolutely. David's going to have an army behind him, you see. An army of angry consumers, and they are angry. They are very angry over credit card companies and banks as to what's been done to them and their lifestyle and their hopes and their dreams and their futures. They're not laying down for it anymore. They just need someone to say, I can help you. We're at war. They're either going to stop it or they're going to pay for it. It's that simple. The war is going to continue. It's going to get hotter and deeper and harder and stronger, but these people are going to win.
Can anything stop you?
No. This is beyond me now. This is not about Andrew Capoccia any longer. This is about the rights of consumers. As I told one judge, I said, you do what you want. You want to ignore the rights of these consumers? You want to ignore the law? Oh, I don't ignore the law. I said, yeah, you do. I said, you do whatever you want, Judge, but this isn't going away.
What would American society be like without you, without this quest?
It'll be business as usual. How many people struggle with this debt because they're too honorable? The pressure is unbelievable, and you have no one there to help you. It's terrible. And something has to be done. Something has to be done. America prides itself on providing opportunity to stand up and object. We find solutions.
What about the cynically inclined who say, okay, this guy is just a huckster?
Yeah, snake oil. Preying on those who are desperate, right? Right? Okay, that's been said. That's been said. But for everyone who said that, I'll give you 100 of my clients who have taken a bad life situation and turned it around, and now they have hope and they're going on with their lives.
Do you feel just excited about taking on the big bully and bringing him to his knees?
Where did you get that idea?